Mike, it's All-Star Week.
It is.
It's a little bit more past the halfway point of the baseball season, but it's a time to go back and reflect on what we've seen so far in Major League Baseball.
It's the unofficial halfway.
You know, first of all, I got to give Gordy Jones credit. I was looking at one of his tweets last night. It was a Berman.
That was a great one. I saw that one too.
Back.
Click.
That was the other thing that saved the home running contest, and something my wife and I like to watch just because when we first started dating, we watched. It's sort of like tradition. We were going to name our first child last year after whoever won the All-Star game. It was Big Poppy, and I wouldn't go. I wasn't going to name it. Anyhow, the thing that saved the home running contest was George Brett was phenomenal, I thought, with his interview and what he was giving out with him now, his new role and with his past job with what he did.
I have to tell you, the home run derby is the only thing. People say all the time, I turn the sound off because I can't stand these announcers. I literally, I think it's the third year in a row, I just have not watched that because of Chris Berman. Because he just annoys me so much. So that honestly, I have stayed away from
George Brett. That's like his VP of the Royals. He's got like these ribs there, and him and then Adam Jones of the Royals comes over and they're eating ribs. John Kruk and them. And then
that's a sound idea.
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
I bring up the Orioles here. They've actually been entertaining the first half. My wife is an Orioles fan, and I've watched more Orioles lately than I have the Phillies because I'm going to get a better showing from one over the other at times. What surprises stand out, good or bad, from the first half?
I think the Pirates are the biggest surprise. Yep. The last time I looked, they had the best record in the National League, not just winning their division, which is hard to believe, and they have maybe the most exciting player in the National League in McCutchen, who is going to be for whom an MVP argument could be made. I would still vote for Joey Votto, I think, but he's a terrific player, and I really don't think they're as good as their record. I really don't think they're that good, and we had this discussion last year with the Pirates, but small market teams have been pretty successful. The Orioles and Pirates, the Pirates are maybe the ultimate, other than possibly Kansas City, and also the Washington Nationals, although they're not literally a small market. It's a kind of a small market situation, and they have turned a good farm system and some good young prospects into results in the field in pretty quick order. In fact, I think the Washington Nationals are the best of those three teams, those sort of small market teams that are doing well.
Major League Baseball owned them for a while, so you could say a small market. The Kansas City Royals, you take away the first month, April was a horrible month for them. They've played very good baseball, one of the most competitive teams, and they've got a lot of young players. The problem with them is after 5 years, those players go away. Last year, the Pirates were in first place at this time of year, and they became buyers. Picked up Derek Lee from the Orioles, picked up Ludwig, I think it was at the time, was with San Diego, it might have been St. Louis, maybe it was San Diego, and it didn't work out. Lee gets hurt. So it'd be interesting to see what they do at this trade deadline. Do they do some buying? What's really kept him in it is their pitching. And
they've started to hit a little bit better lately, but you're right. Their pitching has been very good. But last year it was pitching that was very good that it didn't make any sense. This year, it's guys that have some track record. The guy that they got from the Yankees, I'm drawing A.J. Burnett, who is actually a guy who can pitch. I mean, apparently he can't stand living in the Big Apple, but he can pitch. And they're better. They're a better team now than they were a year ago, and more likely to hang around, I think.
Well, McDonald's a good pitcher for them as well. You know, pitching is a good story from the first half as well. Pitching has been very strong in the first half. We've had a couple no-hitters, a perfect game in there, Kane, and hitting has been down a little bit. The home runs are way down. I don't know if we attribute this to less steroid use, more testing, or if it's just the year of the pitcher, but pitching has been very good throughout baseball this season.
And, I think with all these no-hitters, you could look at maybe there's more great pitching. There's more, I think pitching, the best pitching stands out from the pack more. And we're in an era, I think that's been the case the last couple of years, where we've been in that era. I would love to have an explanation for that, some sort of sabermetric thing. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is.
I hope if pitching is going to continue to get better, that we go back to some of the old ways of baseball when the St. Louis Cardinals on Whitey Herzog, where Vince Coleman and these guys were stealing bases.
Starkey likes that. Yeah, he likes that stuff.
It's sort of fun. I mean, I know people always boo when they threw to first base, try to keep the runner close. I love the cat and mouse game with him trying to steal second or steal third, and I'd like to see that kind of baseball back.
And we are going to see more of it. I don't think there's any question. I think the game will evolve in that direction, especially if this continues with the pitching.
So I am really curious to see if these teams we talk about in the first half, the Orioles, Pirates, Nationals, I don't care as much about them because they're in the same division as the Phillies, but Orioles and Pirates we'll talk about specifically. Kansas City Royals, I'll follow them. Can they keep it going? Can the Orioles finally get back to the playoffs? It's been since, what, 97 for them. I really like to see Buck Showalter is a heck of a manager.
That's going to be the intriguing thing of the rest of the season. And one quick thing, the luxury tax has had some positive effect here. It really has.